podcast, and I cannot believe that I'm already 23. Now, it kind of snuck up on me this year because, well, I think it's because I didn't have school, like it wasn't like, because usually for college anyways, my birthday is on finals week, and my junior year actually, I turned 21 on one of my finals. It was my last finals. It was the last Thursday before everyone went to have their summer break, and it was crazy because downtown, like one of our bars was actually closing too. So oh my gosh, in my town, or in my college anyways, we do a 21 shot book. So you take 21 shots, and since the bars was closing, it was like 2 for $1. It was crazy. It was awesome. And then I had finals, right? So that was crazy. But, and it's when 22 came up, it was like, oh, great. Like I am past the 21 age. I'm now 22. Like when I go purchase alcohol or anything, like people aren't going to look at me, like, you're such a baby. Because I used to hate that, when they're like, you're a fresh 21, aren't you? Like we all turn 21 at some point, right? And then 22 came, and I was like, this is fun. This is great. Like 22 is a great year. 22, amazing. And then it's like, I'm 23. Like this is crazy. And I don't know. I think that if you put it in perspective of like another year has gone past, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that I am wearing blue on blue on blue. This just happened because I put on like this cute tank top with these jeans. I was like, and then it's like cold. So I threw on the blazer to record this podcast. But so many people get the birthday blues, they're like, it's another year has passed, and I have not accomplished the things that I wanted to accomplish or did the things that I wanted to do. And it's easy to get caught up in that rut. When I was in high school, I used to think, like when I graduate, get out of my hometown and go to college, like it'll be so much fun. I'll have so much freedom. I'll be able to hang out with my friends. And then like while I was in college, I almost had this nostalgia for high school, right? Even though I was like, when I get to, college, I'll be good. Like it'll be fun, and I won't be insecure or sad or any of those things. And then I got to college, and I was like, like this is cool. Like it is awesome, and there's amazing aspects to it. But I was also, and I think a lot of us, we have this like notation that our life kind of ends after we turn 21 or 22, or after our 20s, we're 30 and we are old and we're not as fun. But I think that each age has like so much potential and so much amazingness, and I think it's truly like awe-inspiring when you think about like how much you've gone through in that year. And instead of looking at it like, I haven't accomplished the things I wanted to accomplish, or I'm just getting older, I think that we'll always look back and think about the times that we had in those other ages. So like when I was in high school, like 16, 17, 18, like I thought that I was so old. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not 15, I'm not 14. And then and I thought like basically I was an adult. And then when I got to college, I'm like, I'm still kind of young. Like there's a lot of people who know more than I do. And then I look at like my little sister, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like she's 14, 15, like she'll be 16. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like Lily will be turning 16 this year. Brody is 12. Like and I'll be 23, like I think, they're not that old. They're still babies. And I'm like, 16, like I remember when I was 16, and I know that I'm not that old, and I'm going into my 20s, and I'm in my 20s, this should be my prime. But even after like my 20s, like I'm still going to have a good time. Like 30s are awesome too. If you think about like the movie 13 going on 30 was like the amazing, awesome age. It was like you have a great job, and you have a boyfriend maybe, and you think about that. But I also think we need to be careful not to put so much expectations on certain ages and the rite of passage. You know, like when I was in high school, I thought I would have a baby by 23. Like that just seemed normal to me. That's when my mom had me, and I was like, yeah, like I'll probably be married and have a child. And while I'm married, I'm not anywhere near close to having a child or wanting to have a baby. And I'm like, it's okay that like your passions change and your notation of where you want to be changes. And I think that with each year, we're able to kind of put it in perspective of like what we want to be doing and where we want to move forward. But it's not to say like the last year was a waste, or I didn't do anything when I was 22, or I didn't do anything besides drink when I was 21, or I wasted my youth when I was 20 just waiting to be 21, and then when I was 19 I just wanted to be not a teenager anymore. Like I think we just need to be careful not to wish away our years, because so much good can come from every single year that you have life. It's amazing. It's truly like, instead of just getting the birthday blues and being sad because another year has passed, like we need to take it with so much graciousness and be like, I'm so glad that I was able to have this year, because so many people die too young, you know, and they didn't get to experience life. So even if you think that your life is mundane and it's boring and it's not fun, like at least you get to like live another day, right? So today's episode is 23 things that I've learned in 23 years. Now, I did not break this apart to be like, when I turned 1, I learned how to not shit myself. Like, you know, I put it in perspective of kind of like the highlights or something that I'm realizing. And I wrote these down, and I kind of took a couple days to just gather my thoughts on what would be important. And if I was able to talk to myself when I was like 20 years old, these are the things that I would tell myself. If I could talk to myself for, you know, when I was 17, like what would I tell myself? And I think that it's awesome that we're able to adapt and learn and try new things. And so I might have struggled when I was 20. I might have struggled when I was going through all these things, but if I wouldn't have gone through those things, then I wouldn't have been able to become the person that I wanted to become, or change and adapt and just, you know, become Logan Lee Miller, become myself, my 23-year-old self. So, again, I cannot believe that 23 has snuck up on me. Garrett asked me what I wanted to do, and I was like, honestly, like I was like, we don't have anything planned. Like it's still kind of quarantine a little bit. And last year I was planning so much for my upcoming wedding that I don't even remember what I did last year. So I wanted to make sure that my birthday was special this year and that we were able to do something fun and exciting. I celebrated with some of my best friends earlier in the week, and we went to the garden center and I got to pick out some garden stuff. I love plants and flowers and everything like that, and dressing up this house has been, you know, good. And I think that plants bring so much to a room. So I was able to do that, and of course okay, this is bad. I almost forgot to mention, like, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. My birthday is basically like almost to Mother's Day. Some years it is on Mother's Day. When I turned 18, it was on Mother's Day. But Garrett's birthday is the 13th, so our birthdays are very, very close together. He'll be turning 26 this year. So he's definitely like, oh my gosh, like I'm 26. Like he was excited last year for 25 for insurance purposes. But so sometimes Garrett's birthday is on Mother's Day, and sometimes my birthday is on Mother's Day. So happy birthday to me, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, to, you know, my mother, to my mother-in-law, to my 2 sisters who have babies of their own, and to all the grandparents, aunts, uncles, everybody out there, like uncles. I said uncles. Not happy Mother's Day to the uncles, but again, like make sure, you know, you celebrate your mom, because she brought you into this world and she gave you so much love. XOXO, thanks for letting me have my birthday, Mom. And but Mother's Day, you know, that's really important, which I love because Mother's Day is around my birthday, and so there's more plants and there's more plant sales, and so basically Mother's Day is just a celebration of my day. Like, I'm able to get all these discounts, like, it's really not. But in all honesty, happy Mother's Day and happy birthday to me. So let's get into it on the 23 things that I've learned. And like I said, I took so much time to write these out, and I just really thought on them. And I would like write one down and then like come back to it, write another one down, think about it. And these are no particular order at all. Like, I did not put them in like a specific order. I just wrote them as they came to my head, I guess, if that makes sense. So the very first one is self-care and mental health is important. So when I was in high school, when I was in college, I would just like go 50 miles an hour. I would try to pack everything in my day and just try to do as much as possible. And if I get really honest with myself, I wanted to prove to other people that I was good enough and that I was smart and I was pretty, or I was someone that was interesting and that people would want to hang out with. And so I would throw myself into so many activities, and I would always volunteer for a project or a committee. And like, I seriously, like, I worked myself to death. Like, and that seems a little harsh, but that's what I did. Like, I was in so many clubs, like I was in so many organizations, and I knew, because I'm a planner and I sometimes overthink things, I wanted to like set myself up for different positions or goals that I was going towards, and I knew that if I had all of these activities, they would look good on paper. So if I was applying to college or applying for a position in my sorority or applying for a pageant, like, I knew the things that I was doing was going to look good on a piece of paper, and that I would get that validation from someone thinking, oh, Logan, like, she is so awesome, she does all these things. And it took a toll on me because I was saying yes to so many different things, and even if it was stressing me out or I was spreading myself too thin or not prioritizing the things that actually mattered, I was just running and running and running and doing so much for other people, and I wasn't doing anything for myself, and I wasn't taking the time to just pour into myself. And when I mean self-care, I don't mean like a facial, you know, like, I don't mean like putting on the face mask and sitting in the bathtub. I mean like setting boundaries. Like, that's self-care to me. Like, saying no to people, or the people who drained me and took advantage of me and always like put more on my plate and just was like, well, I know Logan will get it done, so I'm just gonna give it to Logan. Like, that isn't okay. And so I needed to set that boundary in place. And I know there's lots of people in my life who were more of a core person, you know, where I saw them every single day, and I just, sometimes you have to separate yourself from those people who just like bring you down or take too much of your time, energy, and happiness. And I didn't want to just be like chipping away at my soul. And so I was just like, you know what, like, I need to set those boundaries. I need to have that self-care and that mental health, like taking more time to journal or read or just sit outside. And something that I've implemented is like the 3 major things of the day. Like, I just need to get these 3 things done, and I will be able to say good job that I got them done, and be proud of myself and have the satisfaction that I had a good day. Because I am an entrepreneur, because I set my own hours, because I'm working, like, basically I was working all the time. And even in college, when I had all my organizations and doing all this stuff, like, I was then like in class, like when I'm supposed to be learning, which I was learning, of course, I would be also working on like another organizational thing, or I would be working on my podcast or working on my website or working on my other dreams when I was in class, which, you know, that happened. It's like, I wouldn't say that was completely bad. That's what I went to do. But it was like my body wouldn't give me a break, and my body wouldn't just like be still. Or if I watched a movie, like I would need to be doing something. And I still need to be doing something when I watch a movie. It's very hard for me to just pay attention. But to not split my focus in so many different ways, but to try to focus on what's right in front of me right now. So if I'm watching a movie, I'm not going to be working on my computer. I'm not going to be working on work. I might be sewing or cutting fabric squares because I'm making a beanbag set. Okay, listen, Garrett does not listen to these. I won't let him listen to my podcast episodes. For his birthday, I'm redoing a beanbag set and beanbags for him. So don't tell him, like it's okay. But like when I watch a movie later today, he has class. So I'm going to be cutting out the squares. I'm not working on work. I'm not working on my podcast. I'm not working on my clothing brand. I'm working on something fun. Like that's self-care. Because even though I might need something to occupy my hands, I'm not working, if that makes any sense at all. So just taking that time to relax and setting boundaries and being like present in the moment and not focus on so many different things and not having to get that validation from others, but getting that validation like from myself and knowing what's good and like just overall in that aspect. So I think that's really important, and if you don't do it, then you can get yourself in trouble. So I wish I was able to tell like my past self when I was 20, when I was 17, when I was 16, like you don't need someone else's validation. Like you're worthy, you're amazing. You don't have to do 1,000 things. You can just be present. Right now I have this really cute background on the back of my phone. It's super, super cute. I might put it on Instagram stories I get from JC. She has her own podcast. I'm trying to think. Oh, it's called the What We Said podcast. But she said, like, she posted this and it says, give your son, oh my goodness, give yourself time to just be. And I've been like holding on to that for this past week because I'm okay. Like I can give myself to just be myself and to just be present, and there's no expectations of me. I can just be me and be relaxed. Number 2, exercise is not for being skinny, but to celebrate and honor your body. I don't know if I'm late to this or early to this, but in high school and in the very beginning of my college, I worked out or, dieted to keep my body skinny or in an effort to change how my body looked, whether I needed to lose weight or if I wanted to tone up an area. But now I'm using exercise as a way to honor movement in my body because it makes me feel good. Because when I have so much strength in my body, like, and I'm able to do things, that makes me proud of myself. It gives me time to think about me and to give me clarity and not to focus on anything else. Sometimes when I'm at the gym, like I'll pull out my phone. I try really, really hard not to be on my phone. A lot of you know if you follow me on TikTok and because I've talked about it on this podcast platform, but I'm doing the 75 days hard. I started Monday the 3rd, and part of 75 days hard, you need a second workout. And the past me would have thought, oh, a second workout, like I'll be able to burn more calories and I'll be able to get to my fitness journey quicker, right? But now, like because I have a better mindset, I know that 45 minutes, that second workout, I'm going for an easy stroll. Like I'm going to be walking, I'm going to be looking at nature. And yes, sometimes I will be listening to a podcast or listening to music, but sometimes like I'll take them out. I went on a walk the other day and I was thinking 45 minutes, that's so long. I don't know if I can do it today. And 75 Days Hard, it's about mental toughness. And I was like, okay, we're just gonna go out and do it. And I walked down the stream, and there was I believe it was a little beaver, or no, I think it was muskrat. Now, my stepdad and my sister are probably like rolling their eyes because they're trappers. They love trapping and hunting, and so they probably could have identified this animal perfectly, but it was so sleek and shiny and big, and we were so close to one another. Like, I could have like bent down and almost petted it, like if I reached a little bit. I was like, I would not have seen this animal if I wouldn't have gone on my second walk, like, or my second workout. Like, after we work, sometimes we just want to sit on the couch and we want to veg out and we want to watch TV, but like, that's not good, because if you're working a 9 to 5, you probably were sitting at a desk, or you're working in retail and you're doing things for other people, but you should be doing something for yourself and for your overall happiness. And so I went out and I was like, oh my gosh, like that the serotonin, like I just visualized it coming in, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. And then I walked for 20 minutes and came back and I was like, oh, it's only been 20 minutes. I need another 25 minutes. And I hopped on the bike and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go up the big hills. I'm just going to turn around. And I did not go very far, but I kept going back and forth. And I was just thinking, when I was a kid, I might have rode my bike a lot, you know? Or no, that doesn't make sense. When I was a kid, I rode a bike a lot, but I was thinking, I was like, envision yourself as a kid. Envision yourself like not doing this workout because you have to do it because it's part of a challenge, but do it because of the pure pleasure of just doing something for yourself, like working. Like when you're a kid, you run around and you play tag and you have no idea that you're doing sprints, right? Like when you're a kid, it's just you're moving your body and you have this energy and you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your body. You're not doing it to exercise. You're doing it because it's fun. And even if your legs are burning, even if you can't catch your breath and your lungs are filled up and you're like, it's not working out. You're doing it for the pleasure, and your body might be working, but you're a kid, right? And so I try to implement that into my second workout, because this workout is not to push me towards my goals of like being physically fit and healthy. It's there so that I can just appreciate nature. Like it has to be outside. And I was trying to practice on my bike to lift my hands up and doing it with no hands. I practiced like going in circles. Like I just was childlike almost, you know? I just wanted to ride the bike as a kid. And I did that, and it was amazing, and it was fun. And I think exercise almost has bad rap sometimes, where it's like, oh, you need to exercise so much so that you can reach this fitness goal. But in reality, like, we're able to move our bodies for ourselves and to make us happy. And so, like, I want to use exercise as a way to just feel it, you know, like feel your body move and just like soak up nature. So I love my relationship with exercise. I love my relationship with my body and food, and not focus so much on calories or focus so much on eating good or bad food. Now, I'm not going to feed my body a whole bunch of sugar. I'm not going to cook things that are going to make me feel bad, because I still want to honor my body and I still want to eat intuitively, but I'm going to start, like, I'm putting more vegetables on my plate. I'm not having so many carbs, so many starches. And my overall mindset with food, I'm just trying to detach it. I don't want to have a good relationship with food. I don't want to have a bad relationship with food. It's food. My body needs it to eat or to live, and so I'm going to eat to live, and that's all I'm going to say about it. So number 3, nature is soothing and essential in life. So bouncing off like exercising outside, I have spent a lot of time sitting on my patio reading books. I'm sitting on the ground. We have no patio, no patio furniture, but I have been doing this for the past like month and a half when it started getting warm out. And before we had the patio, I would just sit on a chair and I'd read the book, and it was a really crappy one, like one of those camping fold-up chairs. And I was sitting there and I was like, oh, this is so nice. Like I'm just able to like relax and be here and breathe, and just looking at the trees and looking at the birds, and also like bringing attention to the sounds, you know, like the wind, the leaves. Sometimes we might block some of those nature sounds out because we're thinking about so many other things. And so just to like sit there and be in the moment. And like I was talking about with the little muskrat, like you're able to appreciate the things in nature and the stillness. And I think it's very important to get outside, to breathe in fresh air. Sunshine is so good for you. Right before, I actually tried to start this podcast like 8 times. Like, yeah, no joke. I started and then the dog was barking, so I put the dogs in their crates, and then Rowdy was scratching her crate, and so then I put a pillow in the crate and I covered her up, and then when I was recording I couldn't start properly, and then I forgot my microphone. I didn't even have my microphone hooked up, and I had recorded for 6 minutes, and then I was like, oh, my mic isn't out, like it's not catching anything, it's gonna be so quiet. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna take a 30-second, a 90-second break, and I sat in the sunlight and I soaked the sun up and I rollered my face like with one of those. I know gua shas are so like popular right now. I don't have one yet, but I have like a little roller, and I rolled. I was in the sun. I was like, okay, I centered myself enough that I was able to come back and record. And I was like, you know what, like this nature is amazing. Like it can put so many different things in perspective and allow you to just be calm. So I love nature. I think it's really important, and it is essential. And we cannot be stuck in a building all freaking day. We need to go outside, we need to breathe, we need to walk around. So nature is so, so vital. And if you're not getting enough, make sure that you are. Like start implementing it, start scheduling in the time. Number 4, skincare will always be important. I love skincare. Ever since I was a kid, like I would always be working on my face, making sure I wasn't getting wrinkles. And I will say, like, I have started to get a couple fine lines, but they could be worse, right? And I don't think that wrinkles are bad, and I don't think that aging is bad, but I do want to protect my skin from UV rays. I want to protect it from the environment. I don't want it to like age rapidly. I want to put sunscreen on. I don't want to get cancer. I want to, you know, remain as youthful as possible. But skincare is so important, and it can give you a boost of confidence. And when your skincare is laid properly, then you're able to, you know, like apply your makeup better. It looks smoother, and you might have a couple pimples. Like I'm getting off my period, so I have like a couple on my chin and around like my jawline from my mask, but that's okay. Like skincare, you can still give skincare, and you can like work on yourself and have pimples. Like you're gonna have pimples. It can be hormonal, it can be so many other things, but don't worry too much about that. But just, and not even only on your face, like my legs, or moisturizing my arms or my elbows, and just like taking care of it, because like it just makes you feel a little bit better. It makes you feel luxurious. And I have only one time wore makeup to bed, and it was on accident, and I was with Garrett, and it was after a rowdy night. He said that he could not get me to take off my makeup, and so I fell asleep. But like taking off your makeup and like washing your face, those are forms of self-care. And if you are lazy and just go to bed with your makeup on, like you're not taking proper care of your skin, your eyelashes, your overall like just body. And so when you take it off and moisturize, like you're taking care of yourself, you're giving yourself that self-care. But it's like feels good, right? Like you're pampering yourself. So skincare will always be important. It's one of my favorite things. I've been putting on eye cream ever since I was a little girl, and just trying to combat, my skin. And when you take care of your skin, it's going to take care of you. So I think that, skincare is important. And if you are feeling confident in your skin, then you might not, wear as much makeup, which makeup is amazing. I love makeup. I love putting on a full glam face. Like, I grew up when YouTube, makeup industry was crazy. I love the technique, but I also think that, I have the confidence not to wear it. Like, right now, I'm not wearing any makeup, and it's because I'm taking care of my skin. I don't feel like I need to cover up a pimple to feel good about myself. So I might look a little busted, I might look tired, but my skin will be looking good. So number 5, staying hydrated might be a chore and you might pee all the time, but it will make you feel so good. Yes. So lots of Americans, we don't realize that we're dehydrated. And that can actually speed up the process of aging, which is sad. But I think that just hydrating yourself, your brain literally is going to feel so much better. We need the water in our bodies to, function properly. So you might get headaches, or you might be tired, or your skin might be dull. It all leads back to water. Water is so important, and we need to clean out our body of toxins. And so when you're getting enough water, you're able to clean out your colon, or anything at all. You need water to feel good, and it's gonna make you feel better. Sometimes I'll think, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, and I'll drink some caffeine, or I will try to eat some food. Of course I need to be sleeping, I need to have proper sleep, but sometimes I need water. I feel like my brain, this could be just me overthinking, but when I'm dehydrated, I literally envision my brain shriveling up. I just envision my brain shriveling up, it's not getting enough water, and that, that's no good. So make sure you're staying hydrated and getting all of your proper fluids. It's going to make you feel better. You might pee all the time. I know that we talked about this one time in the podcast before. If you're peeing improperly, I've been practicing this because, one, I've been drinking more water. 75 days hard, you gotta drink a gallon of water, which honestly, it's not that hard. I finish my water at 3 p.m., so I'm drinking over a gallon of water, but I do have to pee a lot more, and my bladder is V small. It's getting better. And I was okay, and I go to the bathroom, you gotta just sit gently on the toilet and just relax and let it out. Don't power pee, don't push it out, and don't hover over the toilet unless you absolutely have to, but keeping hydrated is important even if you have to pee. Number 6, oh my gosh. I want to kind of explain each one on why I wanted to do it, because if you are younger, I want you to know this. If you're older and don't know this, I want you to know this. So I'm going to explain why I think it's so good. Number 6, surround yourself with positive, uplifting people, not people who complain, gossip, or drain your energy. This is, all of these tips are essential, okay? Just write these down and look at them every single day. But seriously, the people you surround yourself with, it's unbelievable how much they play a part in your happiness. And you might not notice it. You might think, oh yeah, this friend just needs a little more attention. They take a little bit more. That's okay. I'm able to be that good friend to them. But if you're always around them, they're going to bring you down, and they're going to bring you down with them. And you can only be so strong, and you can only uplift so many different people. But you need someone to pour into you as well, and you need to have that mutual relationship. You can't always be picking someone else up, and you just have to set those boundaries with people. So even if they're one of your closest friends, even if you can't possibly see life without them, that's okay. They can still be in your life, but you can start hanging out with other people who fill your cup too. Because if you poke a hole in a cup, it's gonna trickle out. So you need to continuously be pouring water in that. And that friend might be the hole in the bottom of the cup. So patch the hole in the friendship, or just not have that friendship at the forefront, Or maybe it's not even a friendship. Maybe it's a boss, you know, if a boss is draining you, or if your job is horrible, like the people you surround yourself, like that's going to play into most of your day. Or if you have someone who gossips all the time. And like gossiping is seriously a waste of time because you're just talking about other people's lives. Like, why aren't you living your own life? Why aren't you doing the things that make you happy, but you're so caught up in other people's lives that you forget the focus? And like, if you put it in perspective, like how would I feel if someone was gossiping about me? Like, gossip is gossip. Like, you don't know if it's true or not. So if it is untrue, like, how would you feel about someone spreading a lie about you? And if it is true, wouldn't you be embarrassed and want to keep that to yourself? So cutting out the people who aren't bringing positivity in, who kind of bring you down. You want to vibe high. You want to surround yourself with people who are happy and amazing and who aren't going to make you feel insecure or horrible about yourself. So maybe it's one or two, but I would definitely say just like cut them out. Number 7, live your life for you, no one else, not your parents, boyfriends, or anyone. So sometimes we can get caught up, and I talked about this in the beginning, about like validation from other people and just like putting their opinion on a pedestal, and it's only what they think. And if they think I'm awesome and amazing, I'm awesome and amazing. And if they're gossiping about me and think that I'm terrible, then I'm actually terrible. And we can't live our life like that. You're never truly going to be happy, and you're never truly going to think, oh my gosh, like this is amazing and I'm so happy, because we're so focused about what other people think. And if you go into a profession thinking that you're going to love it and it's going to be amazing because your parents have always wanted you to be a doctor or always wanted you to be a teacher, and then you get there and you hate it because that's not your true life calling. And so then you're stuck in a job that you don't like, or you're stuck in a situation that is just not bringing you any joy. And so you have to start living your life for yourself. You cannot have anyone's opinion matter, because if you're not happy, then what's the point of doing anything? Like, what's the point of going to a job that you hate if you absolutely just despise it and have a bad mood? Like, it could make your parents happy, but your parents aren't the ones who are going to bed with you every night. And I mean that not as a partner way, but there's this sound on TikTok, and I love TikTok, but it's like, you are the only person that has been with you ever since you were born. Like, you're the only person who has woke up every single day with yourself and gone to bed every single night with yourself. You're the only person who knows all your secrets. You're the only person who has been through what you've been through and can understand your reactions and your situations. You can tell as much as you want to your parents. You can tell as much as you want to your best friend, to your boyfriend, to whatever, but nobody has woken up every single day with you, and nobody has gone to bed every single day with you. That is you. And so you have to do the things that are going to make you happy, and you cannot live your life for someone else. And same with someone else. Like, you cannot put the expectation on another person to do something that you want them to do, because that's not fair either. You need to be doing things for yourself, and you need to have no expectations for someone else. And when we eliminate those, then we can actually be kind of happy, you know? Like, we're not focused so much on, oh my gosh, like I have to keep up with the rouge that I love teaching, even though I never wanted to be a teacher, but my parents wanted me to be a teacher. You need to live your life for you, and you can't live your life for anybody else. So that was my number 7. Number 8, those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. This is a quote. Everyone has heard it, I'm sure, before, but I love it so, so much, because your true friends, true friends does not have to be a peer that is the same age as you. Your friend could be your mom, your dad, whoever. But the people who really and truly love you, despite all of your insecurities, despite everything that you've done wrong, the people who love you unconditionally and who like understand that you're human, they are going to love you through it, and they are not going to give up on you, and they could care less about like the mistakes that you made. Like they might be mad in the moment, like say you get pregnant in high school or have made a mistake that has made your parents like upset. They might be mad in the moment, but they're going to love you. Like deep down underneath all of it, like they're gonna love you. The people who really matter, and your parents, you might not have that relationship, and if they don't love you in that way, then their opinion does not matter. So it can be different, it can be situational to you. The people who matter are not going to mind that you're going through a rough time. And the people who do mind and who might make fun of you or belittle you or not understand that you're like, this is something serious to you, they don't matter. Those people are so small, they could not open their brain enough to understand your situation or to understand that you're just trying to do the best that you can. And so those people literally don't matter. They do not matter. They're not going to be with you. And like, I don't know. There's so many different people who I thought, you know, okay, they're a good friend, right? And then they're not. They might gossip. They might make fun of you, turn their back to you. Those people don't matter. It's the people who stick by you when you're crying and can't stop and you're going through a rough time or you're just going through it, okay? So it does not matter, no matter what you do, the people who matter, they're not going to mind. They're not going to mind that you are eating supper and you have stuff in your teeth. Like they're going to love you anyways, even if you have stuff in your teeth. Or even if you are going through chemo and you lose all your hair, or you have depression or anxiety, like any of these things, that people who matter and who care the most about you, they don't care. And the people who do care and put so much stock into, oh, like, they're so dumb, they're doing this, they don't matter. And once you can sever that line, when you can differentiate between the two, it's going to be so freeing, and you are just going to be able to live your best life. Okay, number 9. Details are so important. Small touches can make or break it. Woo. I love small details. I think that it can really bring so much to a room, to a birthday party, to breakfast, like the small little details, the little touches that just make it a little more special, that can make or break it. And so taking the time, the diligence, the effort to just like make something amazing, like that is where it truly matters. You can tell the person who took so much love and care into something and someone who just slapped it together and gave it to you. Or, I don't know. We like the people who notice small little touches. And so for me to just think, okay, I love it when people do this for me. I'm going to do this for someone else. So small details, they're important. They might be tedious. They might be annoying. But when you can just like do that small little thing, it might take a lot of work. It might take no work at all. But it's the effort behind the small touches. Or remembering someone's like favorite flowers, or that's their birthday, their 23rd birthday, or that, you know, maybe an anniversary of a lost loved one, or maybe an anniversary of their marriage. Like the small details, the small little remembrances, they're so important, and they can really make or break any situation. Number 10, do not allow anyone to take you for granted or make you feel yucky. So if we have people in our lives who are just taking, and they are not fulfilling you, not bringing you any joy, cut them out. It does not matter who they are. Like seriously, 100%, until they can respect you and can respect what you want, and like that you're a human and that you like deserve to be treated better, cut them out. Nobody is going to take you seriously if you just allow them to step all over you. So if they're taking you for granted, if they're making you feel yucky, just cut them out. Number 11, quit the thing. Job, relationship, whatever. I love Bob Goff, and I love that he quits something every single Thursday just because it's Thursday. And I think that when we allow ourselves to quit, that can be so empowering. Like when I was a kid, I used to think all the time, like, I can't quit anything. I have to finish it, start from end, and I have to do it, and I can't complain. But you have to ask yourself, like, is it worth it for this relationship? Or is it worth it at the end of the project? Like, I'm going to be happy or satisfied with myself, will I respect myself? And so if it's not going to, just quit it. It might be uncomfortable and painful in that situation. You might cry, your voice might crack, you might shake, but quit it. Because that is just one painful 30 seconds, a minute, 15 minutes. You have an entire life, and you should not be doing something that is going to make you unhappy. So just quit it. You're going to have a whole lifetime of good things to do, and it's going to relieve so much stress and anxiety if you just quit. People replace, like in the companies, they can replace someone so fast, and they aren't going to blink twice. Like, they're not going to second guess it. But your life, like, that's irreplaceable. Your happiness, irreplaceable. So make sure that you're taking that into consideration, and just quit if you can't handle it. Number 12. Not everyone is going to understand your dreams, and that's okay. They aren't for your journey. So many times, like, people have asked me, like, oh, like, what are you doing? What do you aspire to be? When I first wanted to start my podcast, like, people were like, oh my gosh, like a podcast, it's so weird. And I was like, okay, like it might be weird to you, but this is my dream, this is my passion, I want to talk to people. And I think that when you give yourself a platform or give yourself like an opportunity to just be vulnerable and to talk to people, like, that's amazing. Or starting like my own clothing store, like, these are dreams that I've had bottled inside of me, and I'm not going to let years just pass by and think, oh, I should have done that. You know, I'd rather try something and fail than to ever have that regret of never trying. So yes, it can be crazy to other people, but it's your dream, and nobody is going to believe it unless you show them. And they might belittle you, make fun of you now, but when you have true success, you won't be thinking about them. They'll be thinking about you. They'll be like, oh my gosh, she actually did it, or he actually did it. But you'll be enjoying your life, and you won't care because they've already cut them out. That was rule number 7 or whatever. So number 13, read books. Get off the screens. I love reading. I think it's important to just like distance yourself from your cell phone, or distance yourself from like TV and podcasts, and even right now, like, shut it off. If you feel like you have had so much like distraction today, shut this podcast off and go outside, like read a book. I urge you right now, shut it off. It will be back. Like, you can always come back to it, but get off the screens, take a break, read, expand your mind, have conversations. I know that's not read books, but get off the screens, basically. Read books. You will like learn so much from books. I've been trying to read books that I normally wouldn't pick up. I've been reading a lot about like an Asian perspective, especially with so much going on with coronavirus, and I don't want to get political, but I just think, like, for me to immerse myself in someone else's culture, that's awesome. That's just awesome. Let's just stop there, and to put yourself in someone else's shoes and to experience the same things, or to notice similarities. Like, we're all human. That is what's important. So I've been reading a lot of books. Actually, I've read like 5 books in the past 2 weeks. And sometimes they're hard for me to get through. One was about, it was like a journal. It was The Distraction. What the heck was it called? But it was like a journal, and it was hard for me to get through, but I was like, you know what, you need to do this, because it's, 1, showing mental toughness, but 2, just like being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes. So I think that's important, and maybe not always pick up like a fun book, but sometimes pick up those harder books that they're not they're meant for your learning and your discipline, and they're not just like a mindless TV show. So read a book. Next, the people who love you. Okay, the people who love you are so important. Allocate time towards those relationships. We needed to make time for the people who love us. And so like there's a saying, show me your calendar and I'll show you your priorities. So if we're not scheduling time to hang out with family members or hang out with our friends, our family, like whoever, if we're not scheduling in that time, it slips away. So make sure you're spending time with the people who love you and who you love, because time is fleeting, accidents happen all the time, and you need to make sure that you are giving them the love that they deserve. So make sure you make time for those people. 15, a clean space equals a clean mind ready to create. I think that cleaning, it might be horrible, it might be boring, but it is so good to have a clean space. I personally like cleaning up the kitchen. I've been taught to clean the kitchen every time we have a meal. Sometimes it's hard to pick up a whole table of food, or I might be exhausted from the day and then I cooked and then now I gotta clean. But in the morning, like when I want to do my sip and speak, which is like a quick quote of the day that I do on my personal Instagram, Logan Lee Miller, I want a clean kitchen. I don't want people to see like all my freaking food from last night. That's gross, one. But two, it doesn't give me a creative mind. Like I don't want to go clean my kitchen first and then I can record my sips and speaks. What the heck? I went and worked out and I came back and now it's messed up my entire routine. Like, don't want that. So clean space can bring so much mindset. Right here in my studio, I love being able to just like plop down, sit on this clean couch. I don't have laundry sitting on this couch. I don't have anything. I can light my candle. I can have my light for my plant. Like it's a clean space. I'm able to sit and think and just vibe. So do this, reinvent your space. You'll be able to learn better, study better, all sorts of better. 16, dress for the job you want / the person you want to become. So take pride in your appearance. When you're polished, when you're chic, it's going to show up. You're going to have more confidence. You're going to smile more. You're going to like just overall be happier. So take pride in your appearance. Dress for the job you want. I'm sitting at home. I am hanging out. But you know what? I'm in a blazer. I'm in a nice tank top. And I am ready for my day. One day I might want to be a professional speaker, so I need a blazer, right? But dress for the job you want, not the job that you have. Take pride in your appearance. This does not mean show up to a suit at your McDonald's job, but have a clean blazer or a clean shirt. Take pride in your appearance. Brush your teeth, brush your hair. 17, your best life starts when you decide to start it. So I will sometimes be, when we do this, it'll be so much better. When I have grass outside, I'll be able to lay in the grass. When I have a patio, I'll be able to sit outside. And then I stop and think, you know what? Why not right now? Why can't I go sit outside? I'm going to sit in the dirt. Like, that's okay. I'm going to sit in the janky chair. That's okay. Progress, not perfection. And you can decide, I'm going to start living and being the person I want to become right now, today. You can do that. Like we can start being the person we want to become. We just have to say it right now. I am the perfect Logan in this moment. I might adapt and grow tomorrow, but right now I'm the perfect Logan and I can do anything. I'm going to live with abundance. I'm going to have a money mindset where I'm not focused on, where's my next paycheck going to come? Like just visualizing and thinking about you are the person that you are and like you're where you're supposed to be. So impactful, so important. Okay, number 18. The nice boy who makes you feel assured and calm is the one. If I could tell my previous self this, I would have avoided so much like dissatisfaction in different relationships, because it's not always going to be the person who makes you feel sweaty palms and like your heart beating so fast. Like there's definitely times when my pulse is beating fast with Garrett, but he makes me feel confident. He makes me feel self-assured. He does not make me feel like I'm on edge and trying to impress him. Like he knows who I am and I know who he is. So be careful to get caught into that slippery slope of, oh my gosh, she's so hot. Like there's got to be some substance. So look for the person who's going to make you feel confident, self-assured, and the best person that you can be. Number 19, be content right now with where you're at, because one day you'll look back and say, those were the best times. So like I said about starting your life right now, you can literally have your best life right now, and being content with what you have, whether it's the house that you're living in or the audience that you're speaking to, or just the job that you have, the position that you're in, the year in school. Like just be content where you are and try to live every single moment as happy as you can be, because you're going to look back and think, oh, it's so much simpler then, or oh, I didn't know how good I had it, even if right then in that moment things are good too. So it's important to live in the present. Number 20, pace yourself when drinking. Just because everyone is plowing down drinks doesn't mean you have to as well. When I did the keto diet for about 4 months, and so that's no carbs. And so one night I was drinking straight tequila. Woo! Anyways, like just because everyone is drinking and plastered does not mean that you have to. I've actually I try to limit my alcohol just because I don't like that person who I have become when I drink. And so not saying that, I don't know, it's such a fine line. I don't like losing control, and sometimes like alcohol does that, and I want to be present and I want to remember all the memories and what happens in the different conversations. So I try to limit like my overall alcohol consumption. So I will advise, I love drinking wine, but you can finish the bottle so fast, right? Like you drink a bottle of wine like it's nothing. Forget what it's called, but you put ice cubes into your wine glass and then you fill it with wine. I love Prosecco, and I love Pinot Grigio. They're both white wines. One is actually a spritzer kind of. Anyways, you put the ice cubes and then you fill it up so ice melts and you're staying hydrated while still drinking wine. And you also can sip on that throughout the entire night. So don't get plastered just because everyone else is doesn't mean you have to. Number 21, flush out UTIs with lots of water. Cranberry supplements help, but if it's really bad, get to the doctor. UTIs, they are a painful experience, and wearing loose clothing, making sure that you're cleaning out your underwear every 6 months, taking care of, down there, and not in the way with perfumey soaps or anything like that. It's a self-cleaning oven, but to just hydrate yourself, clean it out with water. But if you absolutely have to, go to the doctors. And cranberry supplements are so good. Number 22, indulge in a high quality shampoo and conditioner. I love my Way shampoo and conditioner. I've talked to you guys about how I'm reading the book, Blowing Your Way to the Top with the founder. I love Way shampoo and conditioner. It's so good. But it's for thinner hair. I love it. It makes me feel so luxurious. I'm actually out. I'm picking up some today. Little birthday surprise for myself, but give yourself something to look forward to in the shower, and shampoo and conditioner do that to me because I feel, fancy. Okay, really quick. Number 23, understand you don't know everything and be willing to learn. So even if I have learned all these amazing things in the past 23 years, I still want to be open to other people's learning experiences, education. Every single day is a new opportunity to learn something new and learn something more exciting. And so I don't know it all, and I want to continue learning every single day. And I advise you to also learn something every single day and not rely on your own understanding, but to seek out the truth and seek out more knowledge. So that's 23 things I learned in 23 years. I cannot wait for the next year and to see what I will learn and accomplish in my 24th year. So thank you guys so much for listening, and until next time, bye!